and welcome to another edition of Modern Britain Today, the show that is designed to engage with communities and highlight all the special qualities within them. So first of all, we start off with a young Asian artist who's really into sci-fi. Hello, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi there, I'm Qibla Ahmed. I'm a comic book artist, and today I will be telling you about what I do.
Qibla, what first really inspired you to actually start up doing sci-fi work?
My uncle was an artist as well. He used to draw. He used to live with us. He used to draw in his bedroom. I used to watch him draw, and he taught me how to draw as well.
Okay, so what really excites you about this whole project?
I think it was the way he portrayed his characters. Comic books and pop culture was very big at the time as I was growing up in the 80s, and seeing him recreate the artwork that I saw in a book inspired me to say, I think I could do the same thing as well.
Did you know from an early age you had such artistic tendencies?
It came from my mother's side of the family. My mum is a tailor by trade. She did a lot of embroidery work in the early 70s and the 80s, and the creativeness came from her, I think. Yeah.
So, is the style of sci-fi comics and Comic-Con, are they really popular with the Asian community in Britain?
I've noticed recently in the past 4 years, yes, it's grown very big. I've seen loads of artists and cosplayers come out, and it's brought the community together. People that were interested in this pop culture. I think it's bringing people together to enjoy this.
But on that subject, what do you think Asian communities bring to the values of Britain?
I feel like it's brought a lot of family values, unity, and a lot of focus-minded way of working to Britain.
So you really feel that Asians are very entrepreneurial, very hard-working. I believe the same. Just expand on that a little bit more.
No, they are very, very. I think we have a vision, and we try to put it across. We work very hard at it. We are coming from positive backgrounds. We do as much as we can to bring that dream to life.
These images, these paintings, they look very intricate, Qibla. Can you tell me how long does an average one take?
They could go from an hour to a week, depending on the style and the detail of work that needs to be put in.
And tell me, what do you prefer? Do you prefer canvases? Do you prefer average paintings? What is the thing that you really enjoy?
Yes, that's right, definitely. I've gone from doing oil painting canvases, acrylic canvases, to painting characters on somebody's wall. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And now you're doing children's rooms as well. Is that a whole different dimension?
As I was doing my freelance artwork, customers got in contact with me regarding if I could do the children's bedrooms with their favourite characters. And I went from doing 1 to almost coming up to 8 now.
You obviously enjoy doing these children's rooms. Is it a much bigger scale? Is it a much bigger problem for you?
Yes, there's a massive difference. You have to plan everything so that it fits and scales to the wall. Where originally you're looking at an A4 piece of paper, you've already scaled that in your mind. But when you look at a wall, you have to stand back and think, I have to place this character here and this background here. It's a massive, it's massive work.
So tell me next, Qibla, how can people get in contact with you?
you could get hold of me through my email and my social network. It's KiblaAhmedArt@gmail.com, which is KiblaAhmedArt@gmail.com, and my website is www.KiblaAhmedArt.com.
We all have dreams, Kibla. What do you think? What are your dreams? What is your future?
I'm currently writing a book, and that is part of my dream at the moment now, to have my first comic book out. The subject is about time travel, space and black holes.
What type of movies, what type of things would you like to do with your movies?
I'm hoping, I've got a big list to go through that definitely I'd like to direct a movie or a program very soon.
So finally, Kibla, what advice would you give to a young aspiring painter? What would you give now to the young Kibla when he was 16?
Being focused, determined, and always practicing. Whether it's 5 minutes or 8 hours, is continuously practicing and believing in yourself, knowing that you could do, you can get an end product out of starting with a blank piece of paper. Is to be focused, determined, and always practicing.
Kibla, it's been fascinating to talk to you, and I know you wish to be part of the regular show as well. So again, thank you so much for your time and explaining exactly what sci-fi painting is all about.
Okay everyone, so you can exercise in your own home by using your furniture, a stool, a chair, any chair, even with the wall. There's so many exercises you can do it in your own home. Just put the music on and let's do some exercises. So put your hands behind your head and bring your elbow to your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tense that core, you're gonna feel in that core. Another exercise for you girls, get a chair, any chair you get home, lean back a little bit, bring your legs up and then just bring them to your chest. So straightening them and bring them to your chest. They will work whole your core, so upper and lower. And after a period of time, I hope you're gonna get successful as me.
So today we're in Tallulah's store in Camden Market. It's the most fabulous place you can ever possibly come to. If you want anything with an African origin to it, this is the place to come. So first of all, ladies, tell me again who you are and how did this whole project start?
Okay, I'm Rachel Flynn.
I'm Latrishka, Rachel's daughter.
And how did it all start?
Okay, it started way back in 2009. I went to Kenya and I saw the beautiful artwork that the Kenyan Maasai ladies make. At the time I wasn't working and I thought it will be a very interesting idea to come and create a bigger market for those ladies in Kenya, and that's how I started the shop.
So how many items do you have in the shop, do you think? How many do you think you're sort of got in stock at any one time?
Okay, very interesting, because I've started only up with jewellery, and as we're in a very tough market, I realized I won't make it with jewellery alone. I added leather bags, and from the leather bags I added then a lot of various bags, and then I now started with the African mask and a lot of African artifacts that I get from all over Africa, mainly South Africa.
So as a young person, we're all young really, but as a young person, how do you perceive this? Is it sort of something that your generation actually admire as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think African art is there's a big tradition in African art and the jewelry, and I think in today's fashion it's very current and it's very relevant, and you see like the big high street stores selling it and taking a lot of the artifacts into their designs and stuff, and I just feel like a shop like this is very authentic because it's actually coming from the people that have made it in the African countries, and so it supports small business, and I think it's really keeps it to the origin as well, which is great.
Was that one of the biggest aspects for actually starting the business in the first place, that you could actually support villagers, women presumably, in communities, so they could actually produce things? Did you actually help to teach them how this was all done?
There's a culture, as Trishka just said, of old traditions where people do beadwork for over years, and obviously a very saturated market with a lot of these kinds of things. And when I discovered that, I just know that there is no way for me to start all over again, reinvent the wheel, but just carry on with what they're doing and create a bigger market basically for them. So I don't need to do this, I don't have to do this, I don't have to teach them. They are highly skilled in what they're doing.
It looks beautiful. Anyway, tell me, so what type of people are buying these products now?
Well, very interesting. The people, our target market is everyone, but the people that mainly interested in this, it's middle-aged people, a couple of students that have traveled Africa and understand a bit of the African culture. It's people that have traveled Africa and want to support Africa as well.
So what do you find appealing about this type of work? What's your favourite pieces, do you think?
My favourite pieces is probably the Zulu beads that I'm wearing.
Very good.
Yeah, so this is from South Africa, handmade in South Africa, and I think it's just the attention to detail. The quality is amazing, and just to know that this is what people do for a living, and it's quality art. It's a form of art and expression of culture and tradition, and I think it means so much more than than just a normal necklace. It has a story behind it, and it's beautiful.
I know you've had a lot of ups and downs keeping the business going and different things. What advice would you give to a young person of your daughter's age if she was starting, say, a business like this? What is really the necessary ingredients to actually make this a success story that you've made it?
I think the most important part is you have to know what you're doing. You have to create that market and know there is a space in the market for what you're doing, because it is a tough one. It's not easy. I think also you must have a passion for what you do. You must enjoy what you do. Otherwise, you just get lazy. You're not interested. I really love this work I'm doing, and it's nice to know I'm off to Kenya the 24th of this month, that I'm giving that money back to the women that work so hard, and they send the kids to school with those money. So it's actually a joy. It's actually a pleasure to know that your money have a contribution to other people's lives.
Of course. Now, I know you've just taken a master's degree. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing in life yourself at the moment.
Yes, I've just graduated with a master's in drug discovery and development from UCL. So I'm going to be starting my career in that direction. But just another thing to add on from your previous question, I'd say whatever business you want to start, you need to be passionate about it and really believe in it. And I can say, for instance, my mother is the life of the store. There's so many customers that just come back to see her and say hello. And I think when you really believe in your product and you love what you're doing, that people can really see that. And it's not just you trying to sell them something, it's you really doing what you love and sharing it with the world. So yeah.
Okay, so let's go and see some of the items now, some of your favorite items. So I understand this particular bag is called Bags for Life. Can you just tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so they are handmade in Cape Town, South Africa, and they are real leather handmade satchels, very good quality leather, and that's why we call it Bags for Life, because they're renowned to last for a very, very long time. They're also very hard leather, so that makes them very durable as well. But yeah, they're incredibly popular because they come in a range of sizes and colors, and they're really trendy as well. So.
So I know you're very proud of some of the jewelry that you've done. Can you just tell me a little bit about them?
As you can see, I'm wearing a Maasai beaded necklace. This is a traditional one with a leather backing, and it is one of the most popular items in the shop. This is in fact the last one that I've got on, so I'm off to get a lot more soon. So.
Yeah, and I'm wearing, again, another piece from the Zulu collection that we have from South Africa. It's all handmade beads, and they come with matching bracelets as well. These you can actually put on your head and use as a headband as well. So they're great for, if you have like an all black or really plain color outfit to just put on and brighten up the outfit for dinners or your everyday. And they're incredibly popular as well. The price range is about, where do they start from?
£15.
From £15 upwards, so they are also really affordable.
So it's been wonderful to meet you both, and it's such a great shop. Tell me, what do you see as your future now?
Very good question. The future is, at the moment, just to keep on selling. If we do well enough to branch out, we have not decided where to, but we will decide in future where to open the next shop.
And would you like to be part of that as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a history of customers as well that come back after years and bring their family and friends who come and visit London. So I think Tallulah is very special, and I think a lot of people would like to see it grow, and I definitely like to be a part of that. So.
Ladies, you look fabulous. The store's fabulous. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Now we move on to one of our East European pieces. So, can you introduce yourself, please, and tell me a little about what you do?
Hi Ian, I'm Marsha Derevienko, and I am a full-time lifestyle blogger, and I came from Lithuania about 15 years ago now, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about what I do and my story.
That's very interesting. Can you tell me, what were your first memories of when you first came to Britain?
Oh, well, when I came to London, I felt quite, because I didn't know any English, so I felt quite isolated. I didn't have any friends here, so it was quite a tough time for me to just leave my whole life in Lithuania and then just come here not learning the language. And I started a school where I was really bullied, and I just felt really alone and quite, yeah, it wasn't the best time of my life.
And what gave you the strength to carry on when you went through some quite difficult times?
I think I kind of didn't have any other choice other than to learn the language and immerse myself into the culture and start making friends, and just I didn't really have any other choice. Like, there wasn't a choice for me to go back to Lithuania or have any of my friends come down. And when I started the school as well, I didn't have any people in my school that actually spoke Russian, so I had to really concentrate and understand the language and get the kind of the help that I could, really, from my mom and from various teachers in school to learn the language. And I was just very determined to fit in and be liked by my peers, and just to feel that I also belong as well. I think we all have a need to feel that we belong somewhere. So,
do you think East European people, they have this determination, this inner steel to succeed?
I Eastern Europeans are very determined people, and especially when we get given the opportunity to move from, for myself in Lithuania, from the town that I'm from, there is not too many opportunities since the power plant was closed. So I think when you get given an opportunity to go somewhere which has so many opportunities, I think we are very hardworking and we're willing to do whatever we can to actually make our families proud. We're very family orientated type people, so we want our parents to be proud of us, and as well as we want to be successful as well in whichever way success, whatever success means to you. So I think that you kind of have no other way but to be determined and to not let life get in the way of you becoming somebody.
I gather your mother is highly qualified, but when she first came to Britain, she had to do some quite manual work in order to survive and live a family life. Can you tell me, what was a family life like at that time?
Yeah, of course. So my mother is, all of my family really are engineers. So my mum is a qualified chemist. So she used to work at the power plant, and we had a very good life back in Lithuania. So when we moved to the UK, she actually, other than relearning all her engineering and the terminology and everything like that, she just went cleaning as a way, you know, as to make the ends meet. So she is very highly qualified, but then she had to, like I say, go clean and do whatever she can to provide for her family. And I think that's she will always make the most out of any situation. And I think that's a quality that a lot of, you know, Russians and Eastern Europeans have, is that we make the most out of whatever is given to us, and we just make it work.
Marsha, what does success mean to you now?
For me, success is more of an insider's job. It's a feeling that you get. It's that kind of having that fulfillment and just a contentment with everything that you have, that sense of gratitude. And also being successful to me is knowing that you are doing something that's bigger than yourself and bigger than just having, you know, the fancy cars and the big houses and the yachts and things. I think it's more of a legacy that you leave, whether however small it is, but you're doing something for humanity and to inspire positive change in the world.
And has that success, has it inspired you for your lifestyle blogging?
Yes, it has actually. I've always been very curious, and I've always asked myself the question, kind of how, like, what's my purpose and what am I here to really do? Because I've done various jobs throughout my kind of adult career, and none of them really kind of stuck around for too long, or haven't really stuck around them for too long. And I've always been asking myself the question, and I guess, you know, the higher natures, it's like, what am I here to really do? And I think that's really, I knew that I wanted to do something that touches, moves and inspires people, and I know that I wanted to be involved in something that's bigger than myself, than just, you know, a big house and a big car and all these other things, because I think that's just a given. When you do something that's your purpose and that's your calling, I think all of those kind of material things, they just tend to manifest anyway when you actually adding value to things. So I think, to answer your question, yes, I think it has. My idea of success has led me on this path to becoming a luxury well-being lifestyle blogger.
Can you give me some examples of what you talk about in your lifestyle blog?
Yes, of course. So my blog is made to, again, inspire people and to inspire positive change in the world. So the kind of things that I write about is luxury, eco-friendly travel. So how can people still have the luxuries of life but just be more responsible in the way that they travel and where they stay. I talk about the well-being. So I'm vegan, so I blog a lot about the vegan lifestyle and how that can also change, you know, health and your mentality and the way you think, and just being more compassionate to animals and to our planet as well, because veganism has a lot to do with the ecosystem and stuff like that. So I think as well as obviously I try to, it's called World Within Her, so it is all about what happens with me as well, and kind of the things that I'm really passionate about, which is well-being and yoga retreats and veganism and just empowering people to just be more compassionate.
Marsha, would you say you're a spiritual person?
Yes, I would say. I would say that I'm more spiritual than religious, and I've always kind of known that I knew that there was a bigger power out there, and I know that there is a God, although I just choose to, meditate, and I do various other things other than just praying, or, I know that also I'm responsible for what happens in my life. So yeah, I am spiritual.
And now, what is your dream?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the dream is to, again, get to that real deepening sense of fulfillment and knowing that I'm living out my calling, and in, for example, 5 years time or so, I want to be able to be involved in various projects to give back to communities, and mainly I want to work with animals, and I want to dedicate my life to freeing all captive animals. And I feel that, I'm very passionate about the captive animals and the kind of everything that happens when the cruelty that happens in the world. So I want to dedicate my life to just doing and getting involved in as many projects to have some sort of equality as well with humans, to be more compassionate to each other as well as animals and a planet, and for me and to inspire other people to leave this world a better place.
What are the biggest values in your life, and do you believe you can do anything you wish to these days?
I definitely believe that I can do anything that I put my mind to in my life, and I think that a lot of everything that I've achieved have always come from that fire within me and that hunger that I think a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of successful people have, is just being determined and not taking no for an answer, having a thick skin. And I think as a foreigner in a foreign country, as an immigrant, you learn to adapt that thick skin, that you don't really take it too hard, like rejection and things like that. So I think that my success is down to just training my mind to be positive and to think. And I've studied I've done a lot of self-work as well and self-development. So I think it is to do more. It's an insider's job, and I think it's either you have that fire within you, or you're just happy to just have a mediocre kind of life.
What was the most important tool in the toolbox to actually ensure that you kept the passion going?
Just being able to, the most important tool in the toolbox is just being able to be responsible for your own kind of actions and take 100% responsibility of what happens in your life, and kind of evaluate and take stock on what's going wrong, what's going right. And then actually when you do that, you can see how you can improve, or if there are things that you're doing that are great, then you can actually carry on doing that and developing. But I think the key to self-development is having that self-awareness, really, and being able to face your own crap and deal with it, really. I think that's the main thing.
What values do you think European people, especially East European people, bring to Britain today?
I believe that I've worked with a lot of Eastern Europeans, and obviously being an Eastern European myself, I know that we are very, very hardworking, and we are willing to go above and beyond on what's required of us, just because we have that work ethic to really do what it takes. And also I find that, for example, Eastern European men, they're quite like an all-rounders. They're very good at hands-on jobs, and a lot of them are very intelligent as well, because our system, how our education works, is that we get educated on a very high level. Even it's just school, when we finish school at the age of when we're 12 years, we actually were very, very educated to a high level. But So I think the main values is just the work ethic that we have, is our commitment to greatness and to doing everything to the best of our ability. We're not slackers. And yeah, I think we're all just those things really that comes to mind at the moment.
Can I ask you, do you still feel a foreigner yourself, or do you feel like a British citizen now?
I think I fit in quite well into, I mean, I've been here now for 15 years, and I find that although there are still elements, like I get that to an extent I do have an accent, and I get that I'm not English, obviously, but at the same time I think London is such a diverse city that now when I go back to Lithuania, I don't really feel Lithuanian. I feel like I'm more British than I am Lithuanian or Russian. So I think I definitely belong, or feel that I belong more in the UK now, but there is still elements of that I know that I'll never really be fully embraced as a British sort of citizen or in the UK as if I was to be born here.
Hello, we're here today to interview the first ever Bangladeshi mayor in Brent. So, Mr. Mayor, can you please introduce yourself?
Right, my name is Parvez Ahmed. I'm a councillor. I represent as the Dollysil ward in Brent, and also I like to tell you about I'm a British Bangladeshi origin, and this is the first time I am elected as a mayor of Brent as a Bangladeshi British origin. So it is a really good news for me and my community as well.
And I gather that in reality, politics is part of the family, because your wife was a councillor as well?
Yes, my wife was a councillor before, and she is a school teacher. And she was, yes, one time she was councillor, then she was now retired from the council, but she maybe again in the future again come back. And yes, it's a family. I have two sons as well, and they are also a little bit interested, but they are doing themselves their own job right now.
So what brought you to Britain in the first place?
First place, I came in this country actually in 1985, and since that time I was starting as my own self-employed as a business, my background, and until last 4 years I was retired from the business. Then I was engaged with the local community, but although I was engaged with the community last 30 years, but I was not thinking about become as a councillor, as a politically involved. So since last about 4 years I was really actively involved in the politics, and I was elected as a councillor last 2014 as a first time. So that's my starting.
And what got you interested in politics in the first place?
Interesting to the same thing. When I was engaged with the local community, then it is my passion actually to help the people. So through the community work, I was really interested as well to how I can more engage with some decision making as well. So that's why I think the only way to engage with the politics as a local politics, then maybe I can do a little bit better than what I'm doing. So that's why it was encouraging me to engage with the local politics. So that's why, and also again, just you mentioned about my wife, and she was before me as a councillor. So I've seen she's doing a lot of work as well, and as a decision making, she can do a lot of things her own way. So that's why I come in this field.
And I gather you got an award as well for your community work?
Yes, in my community, yes, I got a lot of award as well from my community, and also my background was as self-employed as a restaurant owner as well. So in this country, maybe I believe you will be like as well as a Bangladeshi British curry. So I was in the curry industry, which is, we have a organization called Bangladeshi Caterers Association in this country. I was also Secretary General in that organization, and it is representing about 12,000 curry houses in United Kingdom. So I'm really proud to be also same trade as a restaurant owner. So it was my self-employed, so I was very much engaged, and through that way people knows me, people knows my work. So some people always encourage me as awarding me, but that's not the important thing. Important thing is I'm happy with the community. So yes, any recognition is a good recognition for it is inspired.
Absolutely right. But I gather when you first came, it was more fashion and textiles that you were involved in.
That's right. I was also involved in back home when I came in this country, actually with the clothing business, which is I had my textile and garments as well. So when I come back in here, then since that time also I did some business as well with the textile and garments. So still my family, extended family member, they are involved in same business. But yes, I was involved. Then I was changed towards the restaurant trade. So I opened a couple of restaurants in this country as well. Then still my extended family member, they are involved in the restaurant business as well.
And I gather you have your own charity back in Bangladesh that helps young girls to get education. That's fabulous.
Yes, in back home as a Bangladesh country, as a heavy population country, and everything is not possible to support by the government. So we, as a business community, we have some responsibility to help the local community. So I find it out down there we need to help, especially for the female sector. I find it out. I believe in that way. Then if any mothers as educated, the next generation can be more educated. So I have my own charity down there, which is in my name, is a female Parvez Ahmad Female Education Trust. I try to help them through this my charity, and also I have engaged with a lot of other charities as well in here in this country, in my country in here. Obviously, this is my first priority, and same time when I go back home, also I try to help them in other country as well. I try to help.
Part of the program is really designed to actually show how do the different communities work in Britain, what are the values they bring to Britain as well. So what would you say the values of the Bangladeshi community are? What values do they bring to Britain?
Actually, where I live as a brand is a very diverse community, very much all of us know about it. And still, you believe me or not, I'm still learning from different communities as well. As a mayor, I visited many places. As a Bangladeshi, I have a lot of heritage as well. And same time, it's a different nationality, different community lives in this borough. And whatever I know as a Bangladeshi community, every community need little help from like us from the business community. So I'm trying my best to engage whatever experience I have through the Bangladeshi community heritage, and I try to expand my experience towards the other community as well. So I'm really supporting towards the community as well as much as I possible. And same time in brand as well as a really great Bara brand. As a brand diverse community, we have a lot of business community lives in here as well, very good business people living in brand, and they're doing their business as well. I'm trying my best to engage them with the community to know what is their need, and as much as possible they can help more what they're doing right now for the brand resident as well. As a Bangladeshi, yes, Bangladeshi in this country also now we are in nearly third, fourth generation. But again, in a brand, Bangladeshi population is not that many people living in here surrounding. If you compare with other part of the London, then it's a very tiny. But still, I have a very good link up with other area as well in wider London as well as a mayor or before mayor even though. So we are working really closely how we can do better for our community as well. And I'm very proudly say to you as well, our community also as a Bangladeshi community is coming forward. Our this generation, third or fourth, educationally they are really doing very, very good. I'm really proud, and we as a British nationality, we are really proud about our community.
And it sounds the Bangladesh community is very entrepreneurial as well. You're very hardworking. Is that really the secrets of your success?
It is true, because as a Bangladeshi community, as my parents, and I've learned from them, they was really sincere and honest. Always my parents advised us, then if you want to success in your life, you have to be passionate, you have to be honest, you have to be sincere. And if you do hard work, definitely this hard work will be paid for you. So yes, I can see many of my friends, and as myself, I can tell you last about 30 years, I was in the business, I never ever stopped. I enjoyed it and I did my best through my business, through my self-employed and other activities as well. But I did hard work. If you don't do hard work, you will not be success. That's simple.
And one of the questions we like to ask is, with the knowledge that you have these days, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Knowledge, actually, again, my main things will be to tell them, look, sincerity is the best. Honesty, who knows where you will be in the future. I never know, and I never thought before when I was in 16, then I'll be becoming a mayor in in this age. So always I advise in the new generation, especially in that young age people, then look, if you want to do something, if anything come to you as a positive something, take it straight away. And if anything try to do something negative way, think 10 times before you do anything. So that's my message will be to for all of them. Think positive thing. If it is calm, straight away take it. And if any negative thing come to you, then please don't do this straight away. Think 10 times before you do. This one negative thing can be damage your whole life in the future. So that's my special message for my young generation.
And now we talk to the current Miss England herself. Hello, can you introduce yourself and your title, please?
Hello, hi, I'm Elizabeth Grant, I'm 20 years old and I'm the current Miss England 2016.
I understand you have a Caribbean background, a Caribbean father. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
My family, I'm half Jamaican, my dad is Jamaican and my grandma is very highly involved in the Caribbean community in Preston, where I'm from. And it's wonderful to have that multicultural division between my whole family.
Elizabeth, tell me, how did the Caribbean people feel about you winning Miss England?
They are insanely proud. I feel like they do worship me in some way. They're just very happy and enthusiastic to say that a Miss England is half Caribbean, half Jamaican. They love that. And I've been asked so many times to go to any Caribbean Society meetups, and I will be walking the Caribbean Festival in May next year. So that's a big thing for me, and it's great to embrace my culture involved in my Miss England title that I only have for 1 year.
What do you think a Caribbean background has helped you to be the person that you are today?
It brings diversity, it brings culture to the title of Miss England. It shows that you don't just have to be all British to be Miss England. You can have a mixture of yourself, and I'm so very proud of where I'm from, so proud of my heritage, and it brings together unity to show how many different cultures could possibly come together to be a huge title like this, like Miss England and possibly Miss World.
You must be very excited shortly going to America to participate in the Miss World competition. Tell me a little bit about this.
I am. I fly out on the 26th of November. The final's on the 18th of December in Washington, DC. And I'm so enthusiastic and so excited and a little bit nervous to go out there because I've never done any beauty competitions like this before. So I'm a novice, I'm very new to all of this, and I can't wait to take everything in my stride.
What's the thing in America that you really think you're looking forward to?
American culture, wow. I'm just looking forward to delving in and taking every opportunity that comes to me that is possible. Everything that I can get involved in, especially with the other girls coming from Bulgaria, Australia, different cultures that doesn't really coincide with the English culture, because American and English are quite similar as opposed to Brazil, for example. So I'm looking forward to talk to every single girl and share their stories from where they've come from.
Now, with my royal background, do you think they're going to ask you about Prince Harry?
I do like the royal family, I do. Prince Harry is a very, very good looking prince, and I know that the questions that are going to come out to me are, have you ever had tea with the Queen? Have you ever met the Queen? Or anything of the royal family? I mean, Charlotte and George are just precious. I wish I could meet them, I really do. I wish I could say I have.
I know a lot of the Miss England contestants also work within communities. Can you tell me about what you have done in respect to this?
I've worked very close with Derrien House, which is a children's hospice near towards Preston. They took care of me when I was 5 years old. I unfortunately lost my sister when she was 12, and that was to a brain tumour. They took care of Melanie in her last few weeks of life, and they also took care of my family 15 years ago, and they are still doing now. I vowed to take care of them and to raise as much money as possible, as much awareness as possible, and publicity for them with my regional title, Miss Preston. And I'm sticking to my promise now as Miss England, so I can't wait to do as much as possible for them.
Now we go live to the Houses of Parliament to discuss a very important project with the National Black Police Association, with Janet Hills and William Kapuka Bwabwe. Can you tell me, please, what is the importance of engagement in the community?
Yeah, I think the community need to be engaged, and also because most of the informations are coming from the community. Then once the community is engaged, and also they know that they are working for their own safety and security as well, then the community can provide us with information, speak to the police, and they're not like grassing anyone, but it's for the safety of even for the person who is going to becoming an extremist. So I mean, it's for the protection of everyone. So it's by community engagement.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other way young people can get involved, and especially their parents, is to bring their kids along to be volunteer cadets. That is like a youth club, effectively, but it keeps their kids engaged, keeps them off the street, and it allows for them, if they've got issues that potentially the schools can't deal with, that the instructors and the cadet leaders are able to get involved and assist from that perspective. And volunteer cadets is a great way of giving young people, a sort of focus on leadership and teamwork, and working together, which they won't necessarily get within a school environment.
Now we go live to our business studio in Chelsea to interview entrepreneur and multimillionaire Ian Driscoll from Britain.com. What is the advice you would give to young diversity entrepreneurs these days that will actually help them in their businesses?
Yeah, well, again, I've had a lot of knowledge. I've had the ups and downs, like everybody has, to be honest with you. And this really is a brave new world for the younger generation, because, again, it's totally different from when we came into the world. There is so much opportunity around. In fact, there's too much opportunity. Yeah, and that's why you've got to be very careful, do your diligence on any company that you decide to work with. See, really, the network marketing industry is massively, massively misunderstood. People still stick to some of the old things that they used to say. It's pyramid selling, it's this, it's that, it's the other. But none of them really know or understand it. They're just scared of success. And one of the things that really disappoint me is that, having travelled around the world and building teams around the world with all the different countries and nationalities, and I can see the differences between them, and I'm very, very sad to say that people in Britain, British people, tend to be very reserved and sort of risk averse, if you will. So that generally the meetings that we hold, whether it's online webinars or local meetings, it always tends to be, the Asian brethren or the black people, because they still have the desire for success. I don't know what happened to us. However, it gives people that would normally, does the networking industry, because it's a low startup, you don't have to spend a lot of money. I borrowed £46,000 to get my garage repair business going. Here, for a couple of £100, you can start a multinational, multi-million-pound business because of the internet. So because the youth now get trained on internet, how to use it, we had to learn, of course, we're old school. So I learned to transfer over to that, because that's where most of these are. So for young people, the world really is your oyster. Go out, look at things, examine things, like I said, get a passion for something, and then that's the first requisite for your success. Again, if you need any help or support, I'm here. I'm here to advise and help people. My personal goal is to help 2 million people on the planet to enhance their lives for the better. That's my personal goal, and that's why you need a reason to get out of bed and go and help people. Do something that you care about. Leave a legacy. Yeah, don't just be another person that was born, didn't sing the song, and died. Yeah, you've got some magic in you. Get your magic out. I find that in the UK, unfortunately, there's not very much knowledge about cryptocurrency. A few people know about Bitcoin because Bitcoin was the company that started this trend after the banking crash of 2008, when the world went crazy. We had to pick up the pieces from people that did what they shouldn't have done. I'm not trying to be blameful here, but we were skanked. So these people came up with a cryptocurrency, and I never personally thought that it would actually hit the streets because the banking institutions are so strong. If they don't want something, generally it doesn't happen. However, to my surprise, Bitcoin has succeeded. It started around 8 cents per Bitcoin. It's now at probably about $650 a coin. So it was the investment of the decade, but I missed that because, again, I didn't think it'd survive. I knew nothing about it. But as time has gone by now, obviously big companies are now accepting and adopting cryptocurrency. So people may have heard of Bitcoin, but there are at least 800 other cryptocurrencies out in the market. Some of them are not wholesome, they're not real. They claim the cryptocurrency, but they're not. So always do diligence on companies. And I was told about a company called eDinar, which are based out in the Far East. They're based in Kuala Lumpur. And eDinar had done something that no other cryptocurrency had done. They borrowed money from investors to develop all the technology to create their cryptocurrency. And then they realised what they needed most was customers. So you can go and buy anybody's cryptocurrency, hope that the value goes up, sell it, make a profit. But what this company are doing is long term. So they're actually going to mine 999 trillion eDinar coins over the next 33 years. So that is enough for the whole global economy. So it may be an optimistic gesture. Nevertheless, I think it's the right one because the price of their coin will stay much, much lower than Bitcoin. So it's more practical for people to buy them. But the main incentive is that instead of borrowing more money from investors and venture capitalists, what the company do is that they will sell coins to us at $1, 1 coin. Yeah? And as the incentive to use their cryptocurrency as opposed to anyone else's, what they do is they will actually reward us with a 20% per month compounding thank you for using their currency. So in a short amount of time, from probably November 2015, we now have about 170,000 people who hold the eDinar currency. But it's going to be held at $1, 1 coin for the foreseeable future. So whatever the external price is against Bitcoin or Ethereum or Dash or any of the other cryptocurrencies, we still get 0.65% per day compounding to help the company to become one of the biggest cryptocurrencies on earth because they reward their customers. And let's be honest, it's not easy to get good returns wherever you put your money these days, but 20% per month, they can easily afford to do that. Obviously, if you ask any questions, we'll explain how you can do that. But it really is the future, so that within the next 5 to 10 years, all the banks predict, as they create their cryptocurrencies, there will be no more fiat currency, no more paper money. So it will all be done through, because again, it's so easy to use. You can use your mobile phone, just scan a QR code and you've made the payment, and it's very low fees. And that's why Richard Branson and Bill Gates, many of the world's top global entrepreneurs, they're all heavily investing in the Bitcoin industry because they know it's the future. Now, one of my principles is very, very simple. If you see successful people doing something, do it.
Princess Elizabeth, as a young child, was very, very prim and proper and orderly, unlike her mischievous sister Margaret Rose. But on one occasion, during a French lesson, Marion Crawford was very, very, very shocked to find Princess Elizabeth up to tricks. Now, we discovered that she really didn't like her French lessons, and she sat there and thought, what can I do to stop my French lesson? She really didn't like it, and she just sat there, picked up her pot of ink and poured it all over her head, and all this black ink trickled through her blonde little curls. Marion Crawford was absolutely horrified, obviously raced to clean Princess Elizabeth up, but it just shows that there was a little bit of mischief within Princess Elizabeth.
Well, I really hope you've enjoyed the first edition of Modern Britain Today just as much as I have. I would like to thank Maria Antonou for her help, Helena Shard for all the royal content, and of course all the other contributors who really made this a success. So we will see you again engaging with the communities. Bye for now.